Hello everyone, theBolderBoulder here for yet another video. And today I'm going to be talking about the 2016 sets. The first wave, as a whole, I suppose. Since I do own quite a few of them, the Toa and Umarak, I figured I would just do an overview of all of the sets. Because, why not? And I wanted to show you guys what I think about them. So, the way I got all of them, I guess I'll start off with, is I ordered Onua, Kopaka, Gali, and Liwa, all in Umarak as well, from Toys R Us, before the official January 1st release. But then I picked their free shipping, which took a very long time to get here. And since Tahu and Pohatu were not available at that point in time on ToysRUs.com, I didn't order them until a few days, probably like January 3rd or something like that, from Amazon, and I still got those Tahu and Pohatu before I even got any of the other sets, which was kind of annoying. But I've learned my lesson. Just wait it out. That's probably what I'm going to do next time, is just wait till Amazon and then get it in 2 days after January 1st. And then that would have been fine. If there was a way I could have pre-ordered it from Amazon, I would have. I've done that with the graphic novel and also the Bionicle book that just came out as well. But all of that out of the way, I want to say these guys, as they almost always do, look great as a team. And the elements are captured pretty well in most of them. I mean, really. You can tell Tahu, he's the Toa of fire. His blades are flames. And Kopaka, he's got the white color scheme, and he's got the blue on the blade, which looks like icicles or something like that. And it just looks great. I mean, the sets individually, though, I think my favorite... that's kind of hard. I actually kind of liked Tahu more than I thought I was going to. I thought it was gonna hate all of the gold because of how much gold there is. It doesn't seem so bad in person. Now, there is still an obnoxious amount of gold. It just doesn't feel as bad having the set in hand. So, take that as you will. Now, Gali, she impressed me quite a bit. Her color scheme looks very nice in my opinion. And yes, she is asymmetrical this time around. I don't mind that at all. Pohatu is most definitely my least favorite. And it really makes me appreciate the 2015 version of Pohatu so much better. I mean, he was the one I was the least hype about in 2015, and now I think he actually made one of the worst Bionicle sets on my list. Sorry. It's just the colors are all wacky. He's got brown, or the burnt orange, and then he's got tan, and then green on his arm. Half of his arm is green, and then his lower legs are all silver. It just looks really mixed up, and the weapon is awkward. He's got a spear on one side, and then a flail, and whenever you try to use his action feature, spinning on the hip, which is something I'll get to in a moment, the ball literally hits him. So I don't know if I'd really recommend him, to be honest. But I got him because, well, I wanted the whole team. Speaking of that action feature now, I really do like that feature. The ability to swing at the hips. Like so. And it works good for those who have a two-handed weapon, I think. the ones who have individual weapons, it's just kind of different. I really do like that point of articulation, though. On the waist, that's great. I really like that. Liwa, now getting back to the sets again, really stands out to me as well because he does have custom lower legs and custom upper arms, which I really appreciate. So do Pohatu and Kopaka, though I think Liwa and Kopaka pull it off the best. I mean, Liwa, he's just one of my favorite sets. I'm going to put that out there. Onua and Liwa, my favorites too. Once again, it's not necessarily that those are the two guys that I like the most, so that's automatically they're my favorite. No, it's because if they really were bad sets, then they wouldn't be that high on my list. Admittedly, Onua does use mostly basic CCBS build style, but Golly sort of does too. I don't know. I think there's still it feels like a good transition point during CCBS, or I guess a happy medium of a G1 look and CCBS combination. I really like the overall look of the figures. And the silver on top of all the masks, it doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm used to it. I saw a lot of the preliminary pictures. I'm used to it. Doesn't bother me anymore. In fact, it never really did. I just thought, huh, that's cool. And that was about it. Didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. And Onua's color scheme I really like as well. It's very coherent. Black, purple, and gold. They got rid of the silver, which I'm kind of happy they did because, well, I mean, it didn't look bad on the 2015 version of Onua, but there was just so much silver in all the other figures. Then again, Tahu is just gold and orange. No, just kidding. There's 2 red armor pieces down here, which you can barely see because of these pieces, which I do like. And these ones specifically on Tahu flow really nicely. It looks like it's actual flame right there coming from the gold. And on Onua, that piece is actually clear on his shins, which makes it great for mock making, which is another reason I like that set so much. And he still maintains a bulky look without such a huge chest. And they fill it in quite creatively, just using a couple of Technic pieces and G1 pieces that they brought back. Speaking of those Bowrock teeth, or not teeth, eyes, I'm sorry, not teeth, eyes, and these Vorocks and Scrawl armor pieces. Now that was definitely a good piece to bring back, because it does fit in with the CCBS theme because it has some slight engraved detail here and there on the piece, as well as having those pistons and the smooth surface. And most of the CCBS pieces, they just have straight line, smooth surface. And it just fits right in, and it looks like it was made for those sets, to be honest. If you didn't know those pieces existed before, it'd seem like a new CCBS piece. So I like that. And I suppose one thing I am a little disappointed about, though, and this is most evident in Kopaka, he looks pretty good without the creature, but the only gold on the set is on his knees, and that's it. So you need to take the little creature of ice right here, which is included with the set. Now, with Kopaka, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster with his likability for me. Whenever I first got the set, I was afraid. I got him, and those were the only 2 gold pieces on there. I knew it was going to happen, but I was just so disappointed that it has to have the little creature for the color scheme to look good. so that made me like the set less. But whenever I found out a quick little solution for that, which I'll show you now. So here's the solution I have to make the color scheme so much better. Alright, so there's a couple other things that I might do to try to make it work with the gold, such as changing the bow rock eye pieces to gold up there. Simply adding those would make the set's color scheme at least a little bit more cohesive. But just completely removing the gold like this, removing the gold pieces, I mean, that looks alright, but it looks lacking up here. So you take the pieces from Golly, which are exactly the same, just except in silver, and look at that, light blue, and it matches perfectly with his color scheme. If you look at that, boom. Instantly better. Like, literally instantly better. Just get rid of the gold completely. And it honestly doesn't bother me that much that his lower legs are silver as well. That's all you gotta do. And I suppose one more thing. The sword is really cool. I mean, it's got that hilt on there, and the blades sort of glow a little bit, honestly. But his shield is a bit lacking, if you could even call it that. I wish he had a real shield. And I'm really disappointed that almost all the Toa reuse this exact same piece. But anyway, let's move back on. So after that solution, it made me like the set quite a bit more. So he's a pretty nice set, and I do like the Technic built upper arms. The shoulders are big like they were before, and really cool. So I think that effectively covers all of the sets. I do appreciate some of the new color schemes. There's some that I wish could have been different. I really like having Golly right there be blue and orange. And with the translucent dark blue and light blue on the lower arms and lower legs, it feels elemental to me. It feels like water. And the little spinner here, no matter however you take it, I guess, it's a neat feature and it fits in great with the color scheme. And Onua's giant hammer right here, which I suppose I can try to put on screen a bit more. Let's try to move in here. That looks pretty great. Reminds me of a gravity hammer, to be honest. The first Onua hammer, it reminded me of the Mjolnir that Thor uses, the Marvel superhero, and now this one looks like a gravity hammer from Halo, with the drill blaster, which is a pretty neat aesthetic. Doesn't look bad at all. But I guess one more thing before I go. It's a little bit of a con, but not a huge issue, I guess. Well, actually, here's a big issue I still have before that. The feet. It's still the same exact boring CCBS feet. I mean, sure, it would look fine on a few of the sets, but I really wish they would make new feet. Now with Onua, once again, he's the one who got the different feet, and I like that. And I know the reasoning behind it too, is because having the creature on his back, he needs a lot more stability, because he's a big build, on top of needing to support a whole creature, so that's why he has these feet. And like I said, I do appreciate it. I tried using the beast feet that were on the 15 version of Onua, and it just seemed a little weird, and I could see the stability problems that would have come from that. But seriously, they need new feet. Anyway, also their weapons. I really liked with the 2015 versions that they had dual functionality. But now they don't. So, again, it's a little bit of a disappointment, but it's not a huge issue, so take that as you will as well. And one last thing, I want to leave off on a positive note, and something that is really cool, a great callback to Generation 1, are the Nuva symbols, which are present on the chest of every single character, as well as on their masks. And let's actually take a look at the golden masks. Now, all these golden masks with the melded elemental color, I suppose, as a whole look pretty cool. Some look better than others. Honestly, one of my favorites is Golly's. Her set already looks pretty good, and her golden mask just looks really good. I know I'm not alone in saying this, but it reminds me a lot of Nokama Metru's mask, which I have right here. I mean, if you really look at that, look at the shaping and all those dots right there. Well, that just really reminds me of all these little ridges right here on her mask. I mean, it's another something like Joller's mask. His mask looks similar to the Protector's mask. So, there's that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Tahu's looks pretty nice as well, as does Onua's and Liwa's. Pohatu's, and Kopaka's looks pretty nice as well. I mean, pretty nice. And it helps with the color scheme if you're sticking with the gold on Kopaka. So, that's all of the Toa masks. I mean, and looking at them compared to their 2015 versions, I mean, here's Tahu's for an example. His mask is actually smaller, which seems to be the case for almost all of them. Their Nuva masks are smaller. It almost looks like Tahu's is a combination of his 15 version, along with the new version, and then they threw in some orange. Pretty intriguing there. Let's get those out of the way. And that's pretty much it for the masks. So now this is truly it for me, folks. So thank you guys so much for watching, hitting that like button, subscribing, liking my Facebook page, all that great stuff. And how do you guys like these sets? Do you have any of them? Which one's your favorite, I could ask too. So, feel free to let me know down below. You could check out on the Facebook page. You can also leave me messages on there, post on there. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. So, I will see you all again in my next video. Have a great day. Goodbye.